Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Newsbeat here on Metro TV. I am Desmond Okrekudan. So coming up is the headline. Now, Christians in Ghana join the rest of the world to mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ on Good Sunday. Sports, Kumasi Asante Kotoko makes a trip to northern regional capital Tamale in a bid to stretch their lead at the summit of the Ghana Premier League as they prepare to face RTU later today. And on the international front, some religious leaders express worry over Rwanda's government's plan to send some asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda. These and many more stories coming up in the next 60 minutes. Do stay tuned. Many thanks for joining us. We are live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. Now to our first story, which is Easter. Christians in Ghana join the rest of the world to mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ on Good Sunday. Reverend Michael Opoku, the head pastor of the New Life Community Baptist Church in Tema, spoke to his congregants about the benefits of the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Of conspiracy theory. You know why? Because Christianity has its basis on this truth. The fact that Jesus died, the fact that he was buried, the fact that he resurrected. If this had not taken place, we are wasting our time sitting here this morning. But praise be to God, Jesus was not switched. He died. And the centurions and the soldiers made sure he was crucified and buried, because that was their mandate. And what God had purposed will surely come to pass. Hallelujah. So the burial was also important. That is why Joseph of Arimathea have to take the bold step, go to the authorities and ask for the body of Jesus to be buried. We need to defend our faith and let nothing take it out of our hands. That's what the Bible said, that fight your salvation with fear and tremble. Because it took somebody's life. It took God himself, his blood, to bring us to this state. And nothing to take it away from us. Amen. We all also have and will have a glorified body at the resurrection. And just as he will be, or he is now, so shall we all be. May God grant us strength. May this day of his resurrection empower us to stand for our faith in Christ. May we demonstrate his power, that indeed he is alive. With the life we live, in our marriage life, in our job situations, in our church, wherever we are found, may people know that Jesus, when he died, he did not remain in the grave, but he is alive. And I and you will be the evidence of the fact that he is alive. May they see Jesus in us to testify that Christ is alive.
And still on the Easter celebrations, my colleague Derek Adote has been moving around to some beaches in Accra to find out how people are celebrating the Easter.
So the Easter holidays are here again, but how exactly are people celebrating or marking these Easter holidays here at Cocoa Beach. People have thrown in at the beach to celebrate and to enjoy. Let's go speak to a few of them about how exactly they are marking this Easter.
Easter for me is a time we would use to reflect on Jesus' death and then resurrection. We had an exams yesterday and the week was really stressful, so we decided to pass here and relax, have some fun.
Easter is like you being happy. The day that Jesus did something for you, so you must be happy. That's why we are here celebrating Easter. I'll be going to the mall. After that, I'll go home.
I'm at home and I feel like come here and then feel my, spend my leisure time here, just to have fun, just like that.
I'm Adventist, so it means nothing for me. It's just a holiday. I came with my family to spend the holidays with them. I wish all my family, all my friends a happy Palm Friday.
The Marine Police were also around to ensure safety.
We've been asked to, or tax detail here to make sure that revelers who come to the beach are protected so that no crime is also committed around. Meanwhile, we have swimmers, rescuers amongst us who ensure that persons who may come and swim and we just ensure that nothing untoward happens to them.
From Cocoa Beach, we are here at Bola Beach in La. We'll go ahead and speak to a few people as well here as to how they are enjoying their Easter.
Oh yeah, we are enjoying ourselves. I just came here, but seeing the environment alone, the exposure alone, Charlie, we will kill ourselves for it. I've given word to Caesar already, you know. Looking at me, I'm a Rasta man, you know, so we are paying tribute to the beach too, you know.
I am here to enjoy the Easter holidays. Easter is about the death and resurrection of Christ, and that is why we must celebrate it.
You can see revelers have come in. It's not exactly evening time, but people have thrown in to have fun and to mark the Easter holidays. I don't know where you are or what you are doing, but whatever you are doing, keep safe and have a happy Easter holiday. For Metro News, Derek Adote.
And now to our Sinfoso, a sad incident happened where a 56-year-old man, Kwame George, has met his untimely death after a well actually collapsed on him at Sinfoso in the Asin Central Municipality of the Central Region. The deceased, with his two apprentices, were hired to work and clear the well of weed. It eventually collapsed on him and was entrapped. The Sinfoso Fire Service, Police Service and Ambulance Service dispatched to the scene right after the incident after hours of attempts to rescue the man proved futile. Police has since commenced investigations into the incident. And now to Tuba Hills, where burial service for the 3 children who died after drowning in a stagnant pool in the area in the South Municipality of the Greater Accra region was held this week. The actual burial followed purification rituals performed by chiefs at the spot where the incident happened. Municipal Chief Executive Joseph Nyani Stevens assured thorough investigations into the incident. Metro News' Akusiado has more on this.
It was a doleful scene to behold at the funeral service for the victims. Family, friends and relatives wept uncontrollably, whilst the remains of Elisha Edu, affectionately called Atakakra, 12, and Samuel Ejeyi Mensah, also fondly called Teria, 9, were laid in state at the Akwasa community. That of 8-year-old Isaac Amwa was also taken to his hometown, Ebri, in the eastern region. A purification ritual was performed at the spot where the incident happened. This, according to traditional leaders, will help give the souls of these young ones a peaceful rest, as well as preventing any such misfortune. The traditional authorities want contractors of the site to be dealt with according to law. Nisan Trophy III is a Safuache of the Englishin and Manfrom traditional area, Municipal Chief Executive for the Gan South Municipality, Joseph Nyani Stevens, who was there to commiserate with the families, assured of a thorough investigation into the incident as well as strict measures to prevent such incidents in the future.
It's not the wish of any municipal chief executive to see his children buried this way. So it's not a happy moment for me as a chief executive. If you ask me, then this is what I can tell you. It's not a happy moment at all for me as a chief executive. What I wish for my people is to make sure these children will grow and become somebody in the future, or become the president in the future. So I'm not happy being here this afternoon.
A teacher of the children also shared some fond memories about them, whilst describing them as brilliant and well-mannered boys.
Someone is in my class, and then Isaac also. But the elderly one, that's the Elisha, he is in class 5.
Some colleagues from the Sky Grace International School who were present to bid their friend farewell also spoke to Metro News about how they have already begun missing their friends.
So they were very good friends. Nana Kojo, he has been telling me that it's Chinaman. 1, 2, this one, Penny. I will tell him, this one, Kakra, Elisha.
May their souls rest in perfect peace. Now to some other stories. People and their perception of flood risk. Collectively, human behavior is one of the most significant factors influencing urbanization. But how often do policymakers integrate the change in human behavior in mitigation measures against flood? Shadrach Odame-Jari has been speaking to a session of the public.
It's another time of the year where the rains begin to visit our homes. Places like Accra would have to deal with another issue, that is floods, each time the rains set in. This has been an age-old canker which people have solely attributed to human attitudes. Some think this is force majeure. Others have also attributed the issue of floods to natural phenomenon. But I ask, haven't our attitudes caused more havoc and damage than the natural phenomenon? Government has undertaken lots of initiatives to help curb the increasing spate of flooding in the capital, from the demolition of structures on waterways to the launch of proper sanitation campaigns.
As we roll out this campaign, I urge the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, especially in Accra, to intensify their law enforcement activities by strictly applying their sanitation bylaws, the building and planning regulations, in sanctioning violators without fear nor favor. To succeed, the attitude of the people must change. The assemblies must work, and the media must support.
Speaking to some traders around the Odo Basin, they reiterated the need for the citizenry to practice proper sanitation and avoid actions that contribute to flooding in the cities.
Yeah, omo fie mu so and now especially omo fabola we fie mu omo tungu omo jiskapa but omo tugu goten ukra bola fa sie no na fa to kwa ho na ka mefa ana fa to dasbi mu na ka mefa na mfa nto goten mu mfa nto me basa enu de hu hia
mu das be ko bia ba sekra se da oh the das be ni na ka ye ne wa se sie no e ka to aye ho script abo aban no would ade to from ebe wafa koto dasbeni eno dasben si ha ba bi obi edi ewura kwato from a wo control kwa anyi Who does I mean 5 I'm a fanto? That's why I want an action ready for. You said the castle. The 4 was said the deal when the power. Remember, this is a one contractor. Over a few working I have made, sir. Many paying for ban home.
And would you too say, ye mua mua hano cry free mua? Would you too say, young cassa, yes, Suban so kahona, in so unify debia?
Very good, and you're better, and you can't decay. If you say near TC and you finish, you will be a Tiffino, a beer Medina, other baby, I can't run the Abba. It will be ties, and I better has said no. You slow, but Roberts, I will be not better, and you must say, to be anywhere anymore.
Oh, shit, I see no, I would have all buy no, or shall I see now? Oh, say, yeah, Uncle say personality no cry, cleaning every time, morning, afternoon, evening, you cleaning her, a problem pie, or has a circle. Obi aba catch a circle, Fibia, catching some miss or bois, with a wow by a phone, if you are there, Bola, that's me near, you so she. Shame video be on my phone, you see, say, yes, I can come each row, bra. Missy idea or more, yeah, Obi free by bit me to Bora. If you feel no that toa. Oh, catch us say, and yeah, and I would that. No busanas ha question. I best Ghana buying, says Sreno. Omo may lighting overhead in a cinema, no more does be. Say free or bano. So Omo say few or circa me a friend Coco Quatin. We are Santiniba, Omopa, Omomla, no match me. Mimit secretary.
For his part, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey sent a word of caution to any citizen found flouting sanitation laws, especially in the capital.
As part of measures to ensure that we do our best to keep our environment clean and also help the stakeholders by way of ensuring that our gutters are desilted, are dredged, persons who are found to or seen dumping refuse or garbage in gutters will be arrested and prosecuted.
Even though there is an anticipation of huge volumes of rain this season, government is positive the country will not record yet another disaster like it happened on June 3, 2015. Shadrach Odame Ejari, Metro News, Accra.
Well, still on floods, some municipal assemblies in the Greater Accra region say they are prepared to contain any floods that will come in this year. The assemblies say detailed plans have been drawn to avert flooding in their localities during this rainy season. This is a report by Frederick Clarence Williams.
Heavy rains in part of the Greater Accra region, especially in its capital, is accompanied by flood. This has in time been blamed on government and its assemblies for the failure to adopt measures to mitigate severe floods. The rainfall patterns in the country have not been stable and it is a major cause of urban flood. This phenomenon has become severe and widespread. On the back of this, some municipalities in Accra says it is ready for the rain.
As an assembly, our reasonable objective is to ensure that by our actions or the actions of the residents, we don't cause flooding, okay, and that in the event that natural floods happen, that we are able to mitigate the effects of that. It's important to make the distinction because it is not possible to ensure that flooding will not occur.
We try very hard to make sure when the rains set in, there will not be flooding at all. But I mean, if any of the communities get flooded, then it means there is something that we have to do that we've not done. Quickly, myself and my engineers move in there to assess the situation and make sure we get it done.
The assembly said they have adopted a comprehensive strategy to mitigate the extent of flood when the rains set in.
All the flood-prone areas are the areas that, like I said before, that are before or after covered beds. We are dredging all of them. We're dredging all of them. That is first. But it's important for us to understand that we cannot ensure that flooding doesn't happen. What we can do is to ensure that we don't, by our behavior, we don't cause flooding. And two, that should flooding occur, we can mitigate the effects of the flooding.
As an assembly, in the few months, we've done a lot of drain construction. go to Chado, go to Ajiman, other places, Igbe town. The storm drain there has been constructed. I mean, we're doing all this as in preparation towards the rainy season.
The assemblies insist they have done what they could to contain any flooding, but called on the residents to desist from dumping refuse indiscriminately to ensure free flow of water when it rains.
I will advise them to adhere to the rules of operation. Clean your frontage. Let everybody keep your frontage and your surroundings clean. The drain in front of your house clean and desilted. We can all do that, and we can avoid dumping rubbish in the drains when it's raining. We can be sure that our behavior will not cause flooding.
We're making sure stretches are being cleared from walkways, stretches are being cleared from waterway. I would advise my community, it's for the well and good of this constituency or this municipality. So they should all support us to make sure we get the work done.
You're still watching Newsbeat here on Metro Television. We're taking a break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back from the break. Let's do some politics now. The General Secretary of the ruling party, New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, has entreated members of the party to exhaust the party's internal mechanisms during dispute resolution before seeking address at the court. Abdul Bassir Suleiman has more on the following report.
Addressing a press conference in Kumasi, the General Secretary of the ruling New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, emphasized that the party will not condone criminalities that could tarnish the image of the party. He revealed the party would open nominations for candidates interested in contesting for the various constituency positions from April 19th to 20th April 2022. He, however, called on the party members, particularly who are aggrieved or have special concerns, to use party structures to resolve their grievances.
We expect a fairly smooth process. However, we entreat all prospective aspirants who may be aggrieved in one way or the other to exhaust all available internal dispute resolution mechanisms in accordance with Article 4 of the party's constitution.
John Boadu has this to say on Fomena constituency disturbances which had delayed their polling station elections.
Fomena, we've not yet taken decision as to whether we are running the polling station elections up to the constituency elections. You all are witnesses to what happened in the year 2020. Consultation and discussions are still ongoing, and when the decision to either run or not to run is taken, we'll duly inform.
In a related development, the New Patriotic Party youth organizer of the Menshia South constituency, Joe Waladi, commended the party members in the Menshia South constituency.
I would say Menshia South, it's not that maybe someone is pushing us or someone is, there's some kind of authoritative something here. No, it's about consensus that we did, that we have this serene environment as we see now. So Menshia South has always been good, and by God we know it will continue to be like this forever.
The Menshia South Nasara coordinator, Basiru Isaka, on behalf of the Muslims in the constituency, expressed their gratitude to the youth organizer for his benevolence.
Youth organizer for Menshia South. And Menshia South, or Baba saw increment from Accra. Until we say Chiriano, a bonus in Yana Ihemwa, until Bassam so what my Baba Yemwa, our Soya Sea, or my new Cry, the Bay Chiriano. Until Danasipa, say what my say, Fibia what I won't cost to pass on 1 year.
Now, as Ghana prepares to join the rest of the countries in the world to attain a net zero emissions by the year 2050, the Deputy Minister for Transport, Alhaji Alhassan Tampudi, has asked Ghanaians to brace themselves for challenges in adapting to the use of electric vehicles. Francis Dagban has the rest of the story.
At a stakeholder sensation forum in Bolgatanga of the Upper East region, Deputy Minister for Transport Alhaji Tampuli, who doubles as the Member of Parliament for Gushegu, said reducing the impact of carbon emissions requires an all-hands-on-deck approach, adding Ghana's stance on shifting from the over-reliance on fossil fuel to clean energy sources knows no bounds. According to him, the implementation of the National Nuclear Energy Roadmap and Action Plan will soon kickstart to ensure the expansion of gas pipelines to key demand centers in the country.
Majority of Ghanaians depend on the use of small to medium-sized vehicles powered by either petrol or diesel engines. Data available at the DVLA shows that out of 2.8 million registered vehicles as of 2021, 72% of them consume petrol, 27% consume diesel, and 1% use LPG and other energy resources.
He adds that globally, many advanced countries are working assiduously to set the wheels in motion as they plan halting producing diesel cars by the year 2050. According to him, the development will have a bizarre impact on the domestic market of the country if Ghana fails to adapt as quickly as possible.
Globally, countries are responding to the call for a net zero emission future. I'll give you some examples. In the United Kingdom, for instance, they have set a target aiming to achieve net zero emissions by the year 2050. These development trends have implications on our domestic markets. We therefore need to realign our focus to guarantee transparent, efficient, and sustainable development.
The Deputy Minister for Energy and MP for Karaga, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, used the occasion to justify the intermittent increment of petroleum prices in the country of late.
The amount of oil coming into the market has reduced. The demand has not reduced. So when demand exceeds supply, economics tells us that prices will go up. That is why prices are going up. And today, it is not just prices that are going up, but even availability is becoming a problem.
Meanwhile, stakeholders at the forum pledged to contribute in diverse ways to ensuring the National Energy Transition Plan came into fruition.
Now, the program's manager of the National Malaria Control Program, Dr. KIGALI, says despite gains made in the fight against malaria, the disease remains one of the top 10 ailments in health facilities across the country. She was speaking at the launch of March to Kigali, a campaign to advocate increased and sustainable funding resources for the treatment and elimination of malaria and neglected tropical diseases. The campaign, being rolled out in Ghana and some African countries, calls on governments, civil society organizations, and the private sector to garner domestic funds to create awareness on the diseases. Dr. KIGALI is the program's manager at the National Malaria Control Program.
At this point, I think some of you have been given cards, which are commitment cards. And before I launch, I've been asked to get one person to read what is on the card so that we all sign and write what we'll do. So I'm standing on behalf of the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and at this point, I declare that the March to Kigali campaign in Ghana is officially launched.
She said malaria eradication would need a lot of support and called on institutions to join the fight. The Executive Director of the African Media and Malaria Research, Dr. Charity Benker, said the march to Kigali will strongly support the fight against the disease.
The main aim is to increase awareness on the existence of these diseases and also to let people know that these diseases are preventable, they are treatable. And also to get governments of West Africa to increase funding for effort towards elimination of these diseases, and also to get the private sector, individuals.
The summit is to increase global attention and accelerate action to end malaria and NTDs, which are preventable and treatable. Now, Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte has cautioned motor riders during this Easter festivities on the need to adhere to road traffic regulations in the capital. Mr. Korte also noted that the use of rickshaws, popularly known as pragia, is restricted from plying routes in the Central Business District.
It has come to our notice that the other bits of tricycle, which is known as pragia, is beginning to gain, if you like, traction or attention in the Greater Accra region. The Regional Coordinating Council wishes to send a strong signal to businesses and operators of this pragia that operations of pragia in the CBD will not be allowed. When I say CBD, the CBD in the Accra region and Tema Metropolis as well. May I repeat? Long and short is that no movement of pragia should be within the city business district of Accra and also the Tema Metropolis. All motorcycle riders and pillion riders shall wear the appropriate gears, i.e. reflective jackets, helmets, etc. All motorcycles shall not carry more than 2 persons on a motorbike. We are also saying that motorbike riders shall observe all the traffic regulations in Accra. Red means stop. It doesn't mean cross. After the Easter holidays, anybody who is found selling on the streets will be prosecuted. All those who are selling on the streets after the Easter holidays move onto the pavements or into the market to do business.
And now to the Upper East region, where the Municipal Chief Executive for Kasina Nankana, Joseph Adongo, has expressed worry over an abandoned 12-unit classroom block about 90% complete in the Navrongo Senior High School. According to him, the contractors are yet to give any reasons for stalling the project, demanding that he mobilizes and resumes construction works. He spoke exclusively with Francis Dabang.
The Navrongo Senior High School, the first model SHS in the Upper East region, is never spared with some insurmountable infrastructure defects since its establishment, in spite of the consistent support from the Old Students Association of the school. Teachers and students of the school have expressed worry over a 12-unit classroom block project which has stalled since last year. A teacher of the school, Simon Awinya, told Metro News that the project, which was awarded on contract in 2018, if fully executed and handed over, will serve more than 500 students and lessen congestion in the classrooms.
The structure that they are going to put up is going to help to decongest the pressure that is in the classroom. In fact, if this building completes, the crowdness of the students in the classroom, it will help reduce.
The MC noted the growing student population warranted the completion of the classroom project. He is demanding the contractor does the needful.
I have not interacted with the contractor, but I think if there are issues, he should come forward, let us discuss and know the way forward. Because sometimes it could be that he has not even prepared the certificates well, or he has not sent them, or they are still working on them, or there is something.
On the issue of water crisis in the municipality, the MCE indicated that the Assembly, with support from the central government and its development partners, is working assiduously to reverse the trend. According to him, the Assembly had drilled 13 boreholes for some communities this year alone.
Navrongo is not a small community. And talking about water, I think we are not yet there where we can say everybody is okay, everybody has got water. But I can say that the efforts that government is putting in place to make sure that we have enough water here is very encouraging.
He therefore pleaded with residents, especially the rural folks, to exercise restraint as plans were far advanced in the communities.
Now back here in Accra, where the unfettered parking by drivers on a stretch of the Sekuturu Street in front of the Ministry of Health and the National Health Insurance Authority in North Ridge, Accra, is becoming a worry as it poses grave danger and creating inconvenience for drivers that use the road. Checks by Metro News revealed that portions of the street has been effectively turned into a parking lot for mostly staff, clients and visitors of the Ministry of Health and the National Health Insurance Authority. Concerned commuters are calling on the Korle Municipal Assembly to intervene and stop the menace to bring some sanity. You're still watching Newsbeat here on Metro Television. We're taking another break. We'll be back shortly. Do stay. Welcome back from the break. Let's do some other stories. And the price of eggs will soon go up, as announced by the president of the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers, due to increase in production cost of feed. I beg your pardon. Speaking to some food vendors, they are complaining that a crate of eggs is already selling between 27 Ghana cedis and 35 Ghana cedis, and that it is exorbitant.
People are now complaining about the prices of egg. Egg was the cheapest source of protein. Crates used to be sold at 12 cedis and 1 for 1 cedi. But now, crates is being sold at 30 cedis and 1 for 2 cedis. People now buy raw food without egg or fish due to the increment of prices.
Sometimes you have a budget, you spend maybe 10 cedi on food. But when you go, because of the egg price, you spend 12 cedis. And even sometimes you don't normally buy the egg anymore because of the price. Because 200 cedi for a month feeding, let me say, increase to 300, it has fit. So for the consuming and the prices, or it has fit, let me say everyone.
Talking about the prices of egg nowadays is something that is very abhorrent. Because at first, you buy your rice, you budgeted for 1 cedi egg to put on it, so that you can have a nice, you can enjoy your meal. But now the prices of the egg shoot up. So when you are coming to buy, you have to make sure that you budgeted well for you to be able to eat well. Now, if you fry egg, it's no longer 1 cedi, but rather 2 cedis.
And now a member of the Finance Committee in Parliament and MP for NYHIAESO, Dr. Stephen Amoah, has admitted the country is currently experiencing hardships, but says the economy will soon bounce back to life. He also refuted claims that the country has been mismanaged by the Akufo-Addo-led administration. He spoke to Frederick Clarence Williams in Accra.
Member of the opposition NDC, National Democratic Congress, have taken government to the cleaners over what the party says is a shambolic economic performance. But MP for NYHIAESO and a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, Dr. Stephen Amoah, says Ghana is experiencing economic challenges just like other countries due to global difficulties.
There's hardship, but let me tell you, it's not a dire situation. Just as other doom-mongers and other people who think because they want political capital, they are going about spreading, scaring investors. It is not right.
He indicated comments made by the NDC's leadership are more of politics than trying to analyze issues in the right context and offer better alternatives.
We've had enough controversies over the economy, and we need to put to rest and support the government to concentrate on the best options to move this country forward. It's extremely important. We are not saying there's no hardship, and we can't say that every policy that this government comes out with is the best and will be perfect. No, we should know that it's a nationalistic in nature and that we need to do something about it. Apart from that, the severity of the crisis we're talking about today cannot be blamed on the government remarkably. We cannot do that.
He believes the comprehensive measures put in place by the economic team of the government will enable the economy to bounce back to life.
I think we need to be more serious and move on as a country, redefine new paradigm shift, and find long-term solutions and approaches to solving some of the basic
economic fundamentals and make sure that as a country we can build a very resilient and very independent economy. It's very important we do that.
And now the chairman of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, Professor Kwame Adom-Frimpong, says the 2021 report revealed a shortfall in expected revenue on the Heritage and Stabilization Fund.
Despite the rebound of economic activities in 2021 after the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, as you are aware, in 2020, virtually we were all in our rooms. But 2021 too, the door was open temporarily for us, so we were thinking that the volume will increase because we had more time than 2020. But unfortunately, it rather went down by 17.7%. And total revenue, this time we are talking in terms of values, the revenue increased by 17.5% from 666,390,751 in 2020 to 725,849.87 in 2021 due to higher crude oil prices. This is in spite of the decline in the crude oil production in 2021. Stabilization Fund returned 3% as compared to 35% in 2020. We are talking about return on investment. And if you look at the investment of Ghana Petroleum funds, there has been a reduction of 19.25. So when you break it down, it's made up of stabilization and that's the Heritage Fund. The Heritage Fund was even a negative of 1.76. Last year, that's 2020, it was a positive of 4.66, but it came to negative of 1.76. And the stabilization fund too came to 3%. Compared to 2020, it was 35%. So in our share, you could see that the return on investment of petroleum funds, both Heritage and Stabilization Fund, drastically came down.
Up next is entertainment news. And in entertainment, Ghanaian actress Sandra Abebio has said to Metro News that herself and her colleagues are worried about the decline of Kuma Wood and believes the introduction of telenovelas is not the reason for the decline of the Kuma Wood movies in the industry.
It's a problem that we all sit and then worry about, but as you can see right now, all actresses and actors are ventured into producing and stuff, because that's also a medium where you can also sell yourself out there. You understand? So we do not sit these days and then wait for investors to come invest. We try as much as we can in our little way to also try and then invest somehow and then put ourselves out there. I think I wouldn't say I've been disappointed, neither would I say I've been impressed, but whichever way, I mean, we are managing. I'm not a political person. It's everywhere. I mean, I call it transition. We are transitioning from, it was previously DVDs, it was even CDs like compact discs, we moved to DVDs, I mean, it's transition. And I think adjusting to that transition is our problem here in Ghana. And so it's both Kuma Wood and then Hollywood. So we're all facing the same problem here in Ghana. Like the Ghanaian movie industry, we're all facing the same transition problem. We just need to adjust. It's a new trend, and we need to just, follow the trend. I think there are people still shooting. We still go on set, but because it's the medium of bringing these movies out has changed, and so therefore, definitely most of people wouldn't even see that people go on sets these days, but we still go on sets. There are people still working, there are people still shooting and other stuff. There are some that gives them to other